Hey, BassGeek here, and during the wintertime, bass will huddle together on structure. Let me show you the bait that makes picking them off super easy. That's right, geeks, we're gonna talk about a rig that keeps the bait above the bass and sets it in front of their face for the longest amount of time possible. This is a rig that you all know, most of you love. I've got mixed emotions on it. But in the wintertime, it is a deadly bait when you are target fishing. But there's one little secret to my success that a lot of guys don't think about, and they're a little bit afraid of. And it's almost always the question everybody has when it comes to this rig. Let me show you what it is. All right, so I went out to Bass Reaper and I picked me up some of these. This is the Dead Shot. Now, one of the things about this bait is that I have used it for a while on a jig head, on a ball head for a ball head minnow, but this bait is incredible because it's got some ribs on it that displaces a little bit of water as it falls. It is great in the wintertime on a drop shot. But before I show you that, let me show you some of the colors that I picked up from Bass Reaper. This is green pumpkin. This is one of my favorite colors because it can mimic a lot of different bait fish. This is watermelon red pearl. Another great color is the TR shad. So like I said, if you'll look at these baits, number one, they've got some great action to them, but number two, they've got these great ribs down the back. So as they fall, they have a unique fall to them, and they got a little more water displacement as you shake them. So they're gonna call those bass in. Another great color here, this is called Lunacy. It's black with a little touch of purple on the belly. Really good little, it's got a great pearl essence to it. I don't know if it'll come across in the camera, but this is Blue Oyster. Next up is Baby Bass. Gotta have a white, and this has really got some great like bluish pearl to it. This is called Cloud 9. You gotta have some version of the Morning Dawn color. This is Morning Magic. Now geeks, most of the time, if they're close to the bottom, I'm gonna leave a pretty short leader. Now this is just a 1/0 worm hook. I'm gonna rig this because there is a little bit of wood over there where I'm gonna be throwing this at, where I'm gonna be showing you how to fish this. I will tell you, during the wintertime, less action is always better. So I don't like to nose hook it during the wintertime. I like to Texas rig it. It dulls down some of the action. But so does a short leader. A short leader will give the bait less action too. But today, because we are targeting these bass that are slightly suspended up, we're going to use a little bit longer leader. During the wintertime, I would say 12 inches or even less is about the leader length I go with. Today, we're going to go about 3 to 5 feet worth of leader. We want it to sit above these bass's head. I think 3 feet is going to be plenty. So we're going to come out. This would be about how I would know about 5 feet. So we're just going to pull in here to about a good 3-foot leader. Now we're just going to tie a uni knot. Slide it down this way just a little bit more. And you can tell there's a lot of line here. So this knot can be a little long. We're going to pass through. We're going to pull down. We're going to wet it about right there. We're going to cinch it down. Now, we're going to take the tag in, and to me, this is key on a drop shot. And we're going to pass it through the eye of the hook if I can hit it. No jokes out there, guys, no jokes. And then something I like to do is pop that knot through, because what that does is helps that hook to stand on end. Now let's put the weight on. Now, I'm using tungsten. This is an angler, 1/2 ounce, because we're gonna be fishing down to about 30 feet deep. And it's got the fast clip on it, but I will tell you, geeks, I do tie just a couple of overhand knots because I've cast a lot of these off. So I'll just take and just tie a couple of overhand or granny knots, whatever you want to call it. Just keeps it on there a little bit better. So we'll just tie a couple of overhand knots on it. I don't even care about the tag end, we'll cut that off. But there you've got about 2.5, 3 foot leader right there. All right, let's rig up our worm. So we're gonna try a color a little bit different. This is the TR shad. We're gonna run it up about halfway up the hook and come out. Run it all the way up. I like it so it protects the knot. And then of course, we're gonna line it up. And I'm just gonna roll the bait down. I wanna bring it straight through. I'm gonna bring it all the way out. And I'm literally going to just barely to expose it right there. I really don't even care if the hook is out. We're not gonna be around enough stuff. I know they're gonna bite very softly. So I could even just leave it exposed like that. For the most part, be fine. But there is a tree there that I'm gonna try and snug up against if I was around just some rock. So that's the way I'm gonna rig it right now so we don't get hung in that tree. Now, one thing I do like to use, because we are gonna be using forward-facing sonar, is I've been using this all-in tackle forward-facing jar jelly. I'm not sponsored by these guys, and guys, I have tried a bunch of them, a bunch of different ones. This I like, yes, it is, you know, they are a little messy and it is a little cold where we've left it out here. We probably ought to start taking this in, but it does really help you to see. And what I'll do, this is the green, it comes in several colors. Again, links in the description and everything. But I want to make sure that I'm seeing my bait. And this jar jelly will help them hang on to the bait a little bit longer. Something that I'll even do is rub this down my line too. You can actually see your line quite well when you rub it on there. But listen, I've tried every other brand out there and I really do think this is the best. And again, this is not a sponsorship deal. This is me just telling you this is what I like to use. Rod, reel, and line for this, I'm fishing a little bit deeper. This is what I like. I love the TFO option. This is a 7-foot medium fast rod. And I've got this coupled with one of these 7 spinning reels. This is the 601. Been playing with these reels, and so far, I like it pretty good. As you can tell, we've got the longer leader on here, and of course, we've got K9 braid to K9 fluorocarbon. I want as much feel as I can get right now, and in this clear water, I want that low visibility line that Pro 100 gives me, and we're throwing 6-pound test on this rod right now. So fishing a drop shot, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm really using forward-facing sonar to target specific bass and specific pieces of structure or cover. Now, you guys, if you don't have it, you can still use your 2D, and that's something that I, again, recommend to you. Use that 2D with that live and drop straight down above them. Need to be probably about 20 foot. You can get away with 15, but drop it vertically on their heads this time of year. Other places that I love to just drag this around, it's gonna be deep points, humps. I love to go down a bluff wall. I like to get in super tight, rubbing the numbers off the side of the boat and make those casts. But what we're gonna be talking about today is we're gonna be talking about fishing some deeper bass. So we're gonna go up there, we're gonna target those bass, and pretty much any time that you're doing this, you're gonna throw it out there You're gonna let it drop and just barely raise your rod tip until you feel the weight. Then stop. During the wintertime, hold it still, not a lot of shaking. A lot of times when you're shaking during the wintertime, it's just way too much. Most of the time, what I'm gonna do is just drag that weight very short foot, 6 inches or a foot, and I'm just gonna hold it still and dead stick it again when it's cold. Especially when we're talking about temps in the 40s, mid to lower 40s, water temps, which is what we've got today. When it comes to hook set, it's gonna be straight up again. You're gonna set the hook. When they're cold, they're not gonna fight that much, but make sure you back your drag off just a little bit. You don't want to lose the fish of a lifetime during the winter. And during the wintertime, it is a very good possibility you catch a stud. Get down there, get that net out. Try to keep those hands out of the water so you can stay warm and land that fish. If it's a dink, you know what I say, bow hop or die, baby. Hey geeks, I'm telling you, go check out Bass Reaper Baits. They make some really unique baits, and I will share another video with you that is an incredibly diverse wacky rig worm from them. And if you want to see that video, be sure you check it out right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. And as always, you geeks rock.